I'm Jeff Eleanor.
My name is Jeff.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the channel. I'm Salty Sleggy. Thanks for tuning in. We're going to be talking about 13 minutes of gameplay showcase for Gotham Knights that's coming on the 25th of October of this year. It's the two-player drop-in, drop-out open-world game set within WB Montreal's own Gotham universe. If you haven't seen it already, I'll leave a link in the description below so you can check out the full 13 minutes of gameplay. So unlike Hogwarts Legacy that received great reception from its fan base, Gotham Knights is receiving a lot of criticisms, and that is because of traversal options like Nightwing's Fortnite glider. I don't think it's a problem. The Mario jump from Redhood. I believe these have just been created to set the characters apart, plus there are other traversal options available as well. Vehicle system looks like it's on rails. The graphics I don't actually have an issue with. The combat system, like we say, it's a bit stiff, and even the director of the game thinks that putting a bomb onto an enemy is a good time. And then we have the posture of Dick Grayson here, which is like he's the hunchback of fucking Notre Dame or something. And also, if you've got a PlayStation 4 and you've got an Xbox One, you might as well just throw it in the bin, because they have cancelled those versions, even though they promised that they would keep them for you, because they want to focus on the next-gen experience, which I can understand from a developer standpoint. I don't agree with the move. It's a pretty shitty move to just say, yes, we're going to give you the game on older versions of consoles, and then decide straight out of the bat after so many months and so many delays that, sorry, but no, we're just focusing on next-gen experience. It's good for the next-gen. It's what we kind of need. Eventually, things are going to get phased out and you will have to buy a console. I can understand it's a problem and you're finding it hard to purchase one, or you just don't have the money. It's not going to be a problem for me. It's not like I'm going to toot my own horn. I do have a PS5 and I do have a PC. But this is something that needs to happen in the industry. It's 2 years into the next generation, or the current gen. So it is time to transition. You saw what happened with Cyberpunk. You don't want another Cyberpunk game. So I agree with the move, but I think it's a bit shitty on their part to just dump it. But let's get into this combat. This combat is very, very different. This is not Arkham combat. Do you know why it's not Arkham combat? Because it's not made by Rocksteady. Rocksteady are working on the Suicide Squad game. I understand you want to compare it to it, but you can't. It's two separate studios. This is their version. This is their vision. Completely different. I'm not that pleased with it myself, but I think it's because, like everything in life, when we see something different, the best way to phrase it is people don't like change because they're set in their ways to a certain type or style of gameplay. And one of the major problems is that Rocksteady set the bar so high for Batman games. They basically created that kind of combat style that people are so familiar with, that every time a Batman game comes out, or anything related to a Batman game, they expect the same kind of combat. And that's kind of what that was in my head. I thought, oh, they'll stick to the same kind of combat. And then doing a little research, when they made Batman Arkham Origins, because Rocksteady were too busy with Arkham Knight, that even WB Montreal said the system works, so we'll keep it that way, because they knew that fans would enjoy that kind of combat. Unlike Gotham Knights, which is their version of what they want combat to be. It is not Rocksteady's version. So you have to understand this. And yes, it is different. I don't actually mind Nightwing's acrobat style that much, to be honest. I've got problems more with Red Hood. I like his gun style. I like the guns where he's shooting in different directions. It kind of reminds me of a film called Equilibrium. I don't know if you've seen that, with Christian Bale, one of the old Batmans. Yes, it does need work. I will agree on that. It needs to be just that little bit more faster. I want to see him use his nightsticks a bit more. Red Hood definitely needs more melee. He can't just rely on his guns. I want to see him punch people a lot, kick people a lot more. I'm not too bothered about the finishes. The finishes look decent, the slow-mo finishes. Going for that cinematic look. Improvements to the AI need to be made, unless they were playing it on easy just to showcase off all the moves and stuff. But they were just stood around, they weren't doing anything. You know, their friends getting beat or their comrades getting beat, and they're just stood there doing fuck all. You can also tell that they clearly took inspiration from Spider-Man PS4. Here's a comparison just to prove it. Clearly, it's not going to be as flashy as the web slinger himself, but it's good enough. So I see those inspirations there, and I think it's quite cool, this takedown, to be fair. Also, with Gotham being so big, you're going to have fast travel as an option. There'll be two types of stealth takedowns, a slow one which doesn't make any noise, and then a fast one which will accumulate more noise and alert more enemies. I want to see more enemies within these levels of fighting them. It seems like you're only getting like 4 or 3, and then we've only seen one elite type, which is obviously the big Talon. I also think that the person that was playing as Red Hood was actually struggling. They should have re-recorded some of this footage because he did miss a few shots, and as gamers we see these little imperfections. You know, we're so used to seeing things that are so choreographed that you're like unstoppable, and he was taking a bit of a beating, I would say. I believe the UI will need improvement. I don't think it's up to standard. It looks very outdated. We don't know what half of this stuff is, and then they're just adding numbers. It reminds everybody of Avengers, as well as a mod system, adding mods to your character for certain elemental attacks. So we also see in the map that they have difficulties. So difficulty low, difficulty medium, which will determine whether you are high enough in order to take on that area or that mission. The cosmetics look good though. Got no issues with the cosmetics. Different rarities of cosmetics, rare, epic, legendary, with their own individual stats, different build types, but we're only seeing a damage number increase or an armor number increase. I don't know how it's going to differentiate from each build, especially like, why are they even doing this kind of format within a story-driven game? Are they hoping for this to be a long-term Gotham project where they'll be adding more to the Gotham City, more missions, more villains? We see the detective mode make a comeback in order to solve crimes within the city. So yes, I'm in that camp of I don't hate it and I don't love it. I do have my concerns. I think it is going in the right direction though. I don't mind the visual style. I like the visual style, to be fair, but you definitely need to tighten up that combat. You've got to make it more fluid and more responsive and more meaty, punchy wise. But right now we're sitting at 6 months until launch. Do you think 6 months is enough time to get everything in order? Let me know in the comments down below. I always love to hear from you. And with that said, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please support it with a like. It helps out me and helps out the channel, and I wouldn't ask you otherwise. Subscribe for more upcoming games. You'll find other games on my channel if you want to go check those out. You'll find social links down below if you want to support in that space. Hit that notification bell, and as always, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.